All right, today is Monday, November 26th. It is Money Monday. We are back after our 4-day break, and so far today, we have been kicking it off with a pretty solid morning. I'm very excited to the start of this week, and I think the volume that we have seen this week is going to carry over into a lot of big potential plays. And I think we could be seeing a lot of big potential plays coming up in the next few hours or even this afternoon. Right now, it is the ANY party. Any play, any stock, ANY. This is the stock that I definitely want to see if it's going to be able to continue to break out on. We are trying to have a little bit of a third touch channel breakout. If you guys have watched my other videos, you guys know what I'm talking about right here. And we're going to see if it's going to be able to break right at the top of this resistance line. And if it can, we know that, big time buying volume is going to be able to move on through. Now, if it can't break through this resistance line coming on up before lunch, most likely what's going to happen is this stock's going to fall and fade and maybe hold between like 765 until this afternoon. Now, if it can hold around, or excuse me, 675 this afternoon, if it can hold around that 675 mark this afternoon, that's when I think it would have the best potential to come back up towards around 750, 775, and then ultimately run up towards around 875. Let's break this stock down because there's a whole lot going on today. And as you guys know already, what are we talking about? ANY obviously, but I made a quick little profit of $180. But that $180, as you guys know, was a little lucky. It was completely lucky. And I'm gonna break that down. But right now, let's actually keep our eyes peeled on ANY. We're going for a third touch breakout right at 775. So this stock currently is trying to move up towards around this $8 mark. If it can hold up above 775, we could be seeing up towards around 875. But let's see if it's going to be able to hold 775. If it can't hold 775, or let's say break through $8 within the next 1 to 2 minutes, it may be just a fake out breakout, which could lead to the stock dropping back on down. Right now, it seems like it has good strength. Right now, it seems like it's trying to get up towards around $8. What the main thing you want to see is the bids. If the bids can stay above $8, that's where that stock can really rip. That's where the stock can take on off. So if it can start ripping and we start seeing the bids above that $8 mark, that's when we're going to start seeing big volume, big activity, and we could see this thing get up towards around 875. I don't have any more money I can trade with my small account. As you guys know, I made a quick 180 bucks on that. But my large account, I could trade on that if we start getting some good activity. Right now, the bids are still having trouble staying above, $8. That's where if it could break $8. That's where we're going to start seeing a lot of potential and where it could get halted again. Right now, again, if you are a buyer, if you're in on this play, 775 is kind of your bottom, area. If it goes below 775, that's where I'm saying, hey, you most likely want to get out. If the bids get above $8, you're sitting pretty. Right now, it is still holding right above, right above 775, up towards around $8. And let's see if we're going to be able to get a break on through. So right now, we are starting to see, ANY start pushing its way on through. Starting to get a little bit more hype, starting to get a little bit more attention. Let's see how much, how high this thing could possibly go right now. Third touch breakout, an absolute beauty. Just a waiting game at this time. Right now, this place trying to hold up around $8. $8 still giving it some trouble though. $8 is still definitely giving it some trouble at this time. Let's see. And again, as you guys know, I'm not in on this play. I don't have money I could be getting in on my small account challenge. So if anything, ANY, if it goes on a nice rip, if it goes on a nice run, that's absolutely great. How high can this play get up to? Around 875. So this play can get up towards around 875 today. Little side note, you are getting a little doji candles though, doji stars. Got one doji star right here, another doji star right here, which does indicate a possible trend reversal coming on up. So we're at a scary time right now on this play, but let's just see what's going to happen on ANY. ANY is starting to move a little bit more. And it's great to see, a lot of this did come from that third touch, right? It's great to see a lot of this did come from that third touch. A lot of this hype and volume all came at a predictable area. 1, 2, 3 touch. We are still having some $8 troubling. Some $8 trouble. But you could see the big volume that did move on in. The Doji stars is making it a little bit tough to want to pull the trigger on it because we know that Doji stars do equal a possible trend reversal. So that's just something that I'm noticing right now. And as a lot of you guys know, Doji Star candles. So this is something we've gone over in the past. What's good about this is it is holding above $8. It's not like it just came above $8 and then came right back on down. But something I always like to think of, it's like a Doji Star. You go up, you got a Doji Star, it starts coming back on down. We go on up right here, got our Doji Star, it starts falling back on down. So that's just seeing that does obviously give me a little bit of concern. But hey, right now we're starting to blast through it a little bit. Let's see how high this thing can go. Still not that ginormous rip we want yet. It's just trying to hold. Just trying to hold, trying to grind its way. It looks like it's slow and steady right now. Slow and steady, just grinding. Let's see if it's going to be able to get any sort of big pop, any sort of big rip, maybe in the near future. Hey, now it's starting to move a little bit more. Now it's starting to get a little bit more ripping towards it. Now it's starting to get a little bit more volume. How high can we get up to? Around 875. Why do I say 875? We look at the past chart history pattern right here, and we could see when we look back at the past, we could see 875 was the top right here. We could see 875 was right around top right here. 875 top right around here. So 875 right now, I would say that would be the old chart resistance on where you would like to get up to. At these areas, we usually do see the stock push up towards around those marks. Let's see. Still trying to hold right around that 830 mark. All right, starting to break 830 just slightly. 875 is usually where the stock's going to get up to. Let's see if I'm correct on it. Oh, trying to hold on up. Every time I start seeing like a kind of big buyers, you start getting a little scared out right there. I'm just kind of watching this one to see how high it is going to go. See how high this thing is going to rip on up to. But what I'm happy is the predictability behind it. That's the most important thing. Third touch, nice breakout. So all the way from that 775 mark all the way up towards around 820, excuse me, 830 so far. And it's nice to see, some live action, kind of like a nice live recap going on with this play. But let's kind of break down A and Y because it looks like it's getting slightly weaker. Slightly weaker on this. But the most important thing is, again, the third touch breakout, right? We've talked about those how many times? As you guys know, let me get some pictures if you guys do not know what I'm talking about. So if you guys are completely lost, completely confused on what the heck I'm talking about, what I am talking about is this right here. I'm talking about a third touch breakout where we see a big run up, one touch. The stock comes up again, two touch. And on the third touch is where big time buying volume comes in. That's where we get the nice rip. That's where we get the nice run. That's where we get the nice big activity. Same exact thing when we look over on like PTI. We got our one touch, we got our two touch. And then on the third touch is where the big time buying volume comes in. That's where we get our next leg on up. That's where we get our next rip. And we could look right here on A and Y. We got our one touch, we got our two touch, and then on a third touch is where we got our next rip on up. Now we're not seeing a $10 rip here. We saw a total of 50 cents, but hey, 50 cents is not too bad. You have 1,000 shares, make a quick 500 bucks and enjoy it, right? On top of that, we just actually went over channels a couple lessons ago. So if you guys head over to tradecaster.com and watch our boot camp lessons, I believe it's right around boot camp lesson number 19 right here, where we go over all our channel lessons in full detail and go into about a 30-minute lesson on how to find them, how to play them, and how to predict them. So definitely keep A and Y still on watch. This stock still has great potential to get to where old chart resistance up towards 875, where it hit a high back on April 12th, and then we can also see, excuse me, there it goes, 875, and we also have March 29th, March 28th, March 27th, right around that 860-ish mark. 860, 870, 860. So I think A and Y could definitely get up to those areas at some point today. So let's break this down first off, all right? Let's break down ANY and let's talk about why the heck is ANY even moving? Because I know we got a little sidetracked right there with, the ANY third touch spike. So first thing, boom, let's break this down. Why is ANY even on watch today? Well, this was the number one chart setup on the whole entire market. And why is that? Because this stock is setting itself up in a mid-candle breakout pattern. If we can see ANY break its 200-day moving average of 555, we could potentially see solid volume and momentum move back into this play. This is a 1 million in float stock with the previous history of spiking. Old resistance is at 675, right? So this is on our Dekmar Trades morning newsletter, as you guys know. And this was a stock that I was definitely watching. I was looking for that 200-day moving average break. And you guys can see the 200-day moving average is right here around 555, this red line. Now, with that being said, how did I find ANY? ANY is simple enough. What do I do every single day in the afternoon? I just go to www.finviz.com and I just look at the top gainers. And I do it every morning as well. I wake up every single morning and I just see what were the previous top gainers of yesterday. ANY was a top gainer on Friday. So since it was a top gainer on Friday, I just wanted to see if there's any potential for it to run today. With that being said, I looked at it and I noticed it was on a mid-candle breakout pattern. So if this stock is on a mid-candle breakout pattern, what do I know? That means the stock had a very nice rip, had a pullback, and now we're getting our next rip. Big time spike, pullback, next rip. This is a great example. BSPM. This is a completely different stock other than ANY, but look how similar they look. Flava Flav twins. You guys can see right here how similar they are, and they both lead to massive profits, right? So we have DLT, nice spike, pullback, starts going green again. We have our nice spike, pullback, starts going green again. Nice spike, pullback, going green again. Spike, pullback, green again. The best example, the closest one out of all these is definitely, BSPM at the start. But notice, this is a mid-candle breakout pattern. Another lesson, again, we just did, that was actually one of our last lessons. And that's why I want you guys to head over tradecaster.com and start watching our boot camp lesson 21. On top of that, you guys could also go through our other lessons and actually just watch the straight lesson of 5 breakout pattern lesson right here, or just go to the mid candle breakout pattern lesson and you guys can check that one out. So make sure you guys go do that, especially if you guys are confused on this. On top of that, guys, we have a very low float. So let's put this all together. I know I'm getting pumped up right now. Deck, you got to calm down a little bit. We got ANY on a low float stock. We got ANY as a previous top gainer. We got ANY on a mid-candle breakout pattern. And on top of that, let's dive back into this a little bit. ANY, what setup is this? Drop at the start of the day, starts U-shaping back on up. What do we have? We have a beautiful red to green move, right? That's one of our go-to patterns. Whenever we see a nice red to green move like that, we see a stock drop on down, make a U shape up and around. And when the stock makes that U shape up and around, that's where we get that nice breakout. That's where we get that nice rip. That's where we get that nice spike. You see drop at the start of the day, U shape on up, come to the open, break of the open is where you get that nice rip, is where you get that nice pop, right? Open up at the start of the day, drop, U shape, come back onto the open. That's where you get that nice rip. That's where you get that nice breakout. That's where you get that nice pop. It's the same thing, just over and over and over again. So we have ANY low flow, ANY previous spiker, ANY mid candle breakout pattern. Kicking off today, ANY going on a red to green move. Then it went on this massive climb. And you can see ANY now setting itself up into a channel, and we just had our third channel breakout. Now, with that being said, how did I get lucky today? How did I get lucky on my $180 profit? And as you guys know, I always want to be open. I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to be telling you guys exactly what I do. And today I made a mistake. And the mistake happened to work out on the green side. So first things first, as always, let me show you guys my P&L. That's the most important thing to me. And that's the most important thing that you guys should always be asking for all your traders, whoever you learn from. If someone can't show you a P&L, it'd say, hey, can you go to etrade.com and show me your P&L? Then if they say no, there's probably a reason why. It's because they're probably not trading real money. But here's from November 5th, which was the first day of my small account challenge to 1126, and I'm currently up $1,300. Not too bad. My goal this month for my small account challenge is 1,500. So I'm working my way on up. And you guys see November 26th to November 26th. What did I get in today? I got in on ANY at 710. I got out of it at 740 and 743. Now, this trade, was it credible? Was this trade awesome? Was this trade absolutely textbook? No, it was not. This trade was a little bit of luck. And why was it a little bit of luck? Why did I, how did I get in on this play? What happened? Why am I saying it's lucky? Well, ANY, as you guys know, was the trade I was looking at throughout the whole entire day. I loved it. I was excited for it. This was the one I was waiting for. I missed this big spike. The time I tried to buy in on this big time spike, it got halted already. So I tried to buy in, I got rejected. I couldn't get in on this play. Then I tried to get in at a I tried to get in, excuse me, on this bounce play. Unfortunately, what happened? I just didn't pull the trigger. I just didn't do it. That's all on me. I did not pull the trigger when it came down to 575, even though I saw it perfectly right at 575. If you guys are saying, Deck, why did it bounce at 575? Just scroll back at past chart history pattern and notice, drag this line out. What do we have here? You see, every time it comes to 575, resistance, 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 resistance. That's just a platform, right? That's just a straight platform of resistance. That means old resistance holds up as new support. Then the stock went on a very nice rip, went on a very nice climb. Now, I saw ANY starting to fall right here, right? I saw the stock just go from 580 all the way up to 750. Okay? I'm saying to myself, what? I'm saying, wow, the stock just went on a great spike. The stock just went on a great climb. Excuse me, guys. And I'm saying I want to look for a pullback. So where am I looking for a pullback? I start looking for a pullback at 650, right? Because I think it's going to fall right here. So I put a limit order in at 650, or do I? That's where that's where I kind of messed up. And let me show you exactly what I mean on this. How did I mess up on this play? I messed up on this because ANY, I put a limit order at accidentally 750. So I accidentally put a limit order at 750 when I really wanted 650. Okay. So with that being said, if I put a limit order and the stock is currently at like 710 and I put a limit order at 750, it fills me at the current asking. It's like putting a market order in, right? So since I did that, I got filled at the current price of 710. Then the stock bounced off $7, luckily enough, and shot all the way up towards 778. So I was really looking for a 650. I must have just not even noticed and put 7 instead of 6 because, as you guys know, they're right next to each other on the keyboard. You're pretty smart, Deck. And I got filled right at that 710 mark, and that's why I was like so confused at first. Then the stock happened to spike on up because it bounced off $7, and that's where I got out and I locked out just because I wanted to take my profit. Now, with that being said, as you guys can see, ANY, continued to spike. Obviously, if I held longer, I would have made more money. But hey, I made 180 bucks on a mistake. I'm not going to complain with it. But I want to be open. I want to be honest. I want to be transparent. I want to tell you guys, hey, you know what? ANY definitely had a lot of predictability towards it. ANY is definitely a good play. ANY, as we went over, has a lot of reasonings on why it's spiking. I pulled the trigger on this, trying to get in at 650. I actually got filled at 710. The stock happened to spike at $7 because that's a nice bounce play area after having a little bit of a pullback. I got out. I locked in my profit. Is that a way to be successful? No. Was it a dumb error of me? Yes. Is it something that I have to work on, so that doesn't happen again? Absolutely. I rarely ever do anything like that. I was just kind of in the moment. I didn't realize I put a 7 instead of a 6. I got it filled, and I'm like, wait, why am I filled already? Happened to spike on up. It was easy to just kind of market order out, right? So, and even with that being said, I always wanted to even give you more credibility to make sure that you guys didn't think I got in maybe at like, at what time? Like right here, that was at 10, that was at what time? Like 10:13. Then it came all the way back on down. Then it spiked on up. Nope. Again, you guys can see right here what I got filled at. I got filled at 10:17 and then got out a minute later at 10:18. So I was only in on 1 minute, and I see 10:17 was right here when it was falling, and then up to 1018. So just again, want to give you even more transparency just to make sure you guys know I'm, being as completely open, honest, transparent as possible. Because I know as a mentor, honesty is everything. So that's basically what happened today on ANY. Again, low float, top gainer yesterday or on Friday, top gainer today, mid candle breakout pattern, red to green moves, 3-touch channel breakout pattern. Could not get up to 875 so far. Still like the break of three, the third touch, but I think there's still a lot of potential this afternoon. I think there's a lot of potential this afternoon, and it's been a very solid play. Yep, it's been very solid. So awesome job. Very happy for all the traders who locked in some nice profit already today as well. That's absolutely what I love, seeing you guys, just make that big time bank and enjoy it. That's the most important thing. So what do we got here? 183 bucks, 343 bucks, 596 bucks. Awesome job, Richard. 140, 300, 220, 530, 105, 802, 150. It just keeps going. You guys know. So again, awesome, awesome work. Way to kick off your Money Monday. Very happy for you all. And on top of that, it is only Monday. If you guys did not trade, get ready for this afternoon. Get ready for the rest of the week because I'm fired up and I hope you are as well. Let's make some money, team.